Dear citizens of Zimbabwe, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, 45 years ago, groups of boys and girls returned from the bush after fighting the protracted war to end colonialism and racial subjugation. Many of our fallen heroes and heroines were left on the soil they fell on, a memorial entombment, an eternal reminder of the sacred ground we all held so dearly in our hearts, Mother Zimbabwe. Today, we celebrate the achievements of that protracted war of liberation. Certainly, our country is not where we all want it to be, but we are also not where we used to be, because now we have the levers of change in our own hands, the political power of the masses to cause the change. Successive administrations have tried to steer this mothership to shore, but disunity in vision amongst the political players, economic sanctions, as well as questionable political decisions and corruption have all rendered the vision of a successful Zimbabwe an unrealized dream. All these are factors that have marred the effectiveness and achievements of successive administration. Following the removal of President Mugabe in 2017, the new administration came in with a lot of goodwill. We, as the war veterans, we led the charge for the change of the course. You will recall the indictment of the Mugabe administration by Comrade Matematanda against corruption and the expose by Comrade Mutswangwa of the criminals around the presidency. If my colleagues today would not be silenced today by fear or by favor from telling the truth, they will tell you in secret that now those same criminals and bootlickers are now in the engine room. They serve no other purpose except their own self-enriching motives. Let me, however, thank our President, Comrade Mnangagwa, for clarifying his true position on the third term quandary, and for resisting those that want to soil his unparalleled legacy of the selfless service to this nation since the liberation days. Let me say, Comrade President, you are an exemplary war veteran and a commander-in-chief, and you couldn't be any louder and clearer than in your last statement that you have no intention of transgressing the country's constitution. As you said, Zimbabwe is a free country, and those that want to dream on, Vachungo Wondomoka, should know from here on that they are not doing so with your blessing. They are unashamedly working with sellouts and name droppers to try and destroy President Mnangagwa and his team and the work that leadership has been trying so hard to accomplish. Getting back to economics, we want to applaud the central bank for finally introducing a system of currency for the country. We also note with concern, as everyone else, the inadequate explanation given on how central bank intends to steer the economy's fundamentals to acceptable financial models. Having said that, a good start in the right direction is better than no start at all. We trust that central bank will work towards reducing our insatiable appetite for the US dollars. As all will witness, if you travel to England, Europe, South Africa, and Botswana, you will not be able to trade in the US dollar at all. Even tips are scorned if you try to give someone US dollars. This forces you to change your US dollars into their local currency at designated exchange bureaus. This is how a country protects its own money and drives value from the United States dollar to their country's currency. Value always moves from bad money to good money. So we should not be surprised if the ZIG loses value because our own central bank has designated the US dollar as a superior currency under the disguise of multi-currency till 2030. It is the criminals in the engine room running the show. Our own government institutions should take the lead in accepting only ZIG as the official tender in Zimbabwe, if they are truly serious about this new currency. This will send the correct signals this country desperately needs. We trust our government will look into this seriously and let the currency swap regime that certain Chinese companies enjoy go to the dustbins of history with outgoing governor. These were all tricks designed to siphon value out of Zimbabwe, thereby sabotaging the Second Republic of President Mnangagwa. Lastly, let me talk about the indigenous businessmen and women. The enactment of antitrust laws that leveled the playing field for indigenous Zimbabweans was the best piece of legislation that Zimbabwean government came up with to reverse decades of colonial injustices against our people. Statutory Instrument 57 of 2023 was a bold move in giving Zimbabwean indigenous miners the sole rights to export lithium or under a well-articulated policy framework. We have, however, witnessed administrative bottlenecks that prevent the operability of the same statutory instrument by giving with the right hand and taking away with the left. At the same time, all the Chinese companies operating in Zimbabwe bypass the same statutory instrument, and as we already know from ongoing court cases, a lot of them smuggle our minerals wealth out of the country through all our porous borders with no money coming back to Zimbabwe and no taxes for the fiscus. We urge law enforcement to redouble their efforts to bring criminality and corruption to book, and that government should again take another look at indigenization and people empowerment laws. That's what we promised a nation at independence in 1980. I thank you.